Joe Winderoth, teach at Southwest State University, as do these fellows here. Welcome to Educated Bowlers. Dr. Tim Boehm, farmer, and also teaches English. Dr. Lupe Solis is a fisherman, and also teaches at Southwest State University. Now, none of the opinions that... Oh, and this is Ichiro, the possum. Does not teach at Southwest State yet. Our subject today... Oh, by the way, none of the opinions expressed here will in any way represent the opinions of... or necessarily represent the opinions of Southwest State University just because we work there, you know.
But they might accidentally represent.
Yeah, of course they could. Who knows? I mean...
Highly unlikely, though.
You would have to talk to Southwest State University. Which would be very difficult, you know?
Yeah.
Who is Southwest State University, right?
Yeah.
How would you talk to it for them? I don't know, and they might disagree. They might have no opinion. Our subject today is the new patriotism. So I'd like to start by talking about the old patriotism, and then we'll talk about the new patriotism. Now, the old patriotism, back in the old days, things were, you had different civilizations, you know, spread all out, and I guess you had to kind of have a strong bond with the people you lived with so as to work as a unit to keep everything going right, and keep other peoples, other cultures, societies from overrunning you, or that sort of thing. And so you look at there's been a long discussion of the value of patriotism, whether it's how to balance it as a thing. For instance, the play Antigone, I think, is one of the earlier works of art in the Western tradition, which examines the nature of a tyrant, and the nature of devotion to the state over all other concerns, etc. Well, it struck me that the core of this whole thing has to do with love. That there is love among one's kin. You love your family, you love where you come from, even if it's a stinking sort of
hellhole.
You're attached to it because you grew up there, right? There's that attachment. So I think that love kin thing, because you love where and who you grew up among. It's just, and so that seems to me the seed of patriotism.
In other parts of the country, that love with kin is a little bit stronger sometimes, especially southern parts of the country. Sorry.
I think the word you're looking for is tribalism, and that is certainly what is fueling the new patriotism. You don't need to justify anything about America. You simply need to say, this is our tribe, that's their tribe, they attacked us, so we've got to, mess with them.
Well, that was the old patriotism, and I think what he's getting at is, if you move it into modern times, you can take it to different degrees. There's loyalty to family, loyalty to for instance, where I grew up, there's loyalty to family is first, then it was loyalty to the house, the block house, and it was loyalty to the square of 4 block houses, and then it just kept moving out, and then it was the loyalty of the Cubs. But that's sort of loyalty, and then it's a city loyalty, and you can transform that into rural communities like Marshall and Minneota, the rivalry between basketball teams, wrestling teams, and then there's this these vagrants keep wandering in and out of the studio, so you have to forgive us. We're in the ghetto of Marshall right now. But that transforms itself. I mean, in a pure sense, to me, or in a pure patriotic sense, to me, that's ideal. But when we take it to the media, mainstream level,
Mainstream media?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an irrational thing, I guess, is what the point. You don't rationalize your love of where you grew up, right? It's just there. It's an irrational and yet undeniable thing. But that's what we're talking about then, is this kind of how to organize it, to create it at a larger level, to say, because so many Americans have nothing to do with one another, really. I mean, you have all these people who have money, and they sort of keep themselves in an exclusive area, and have kind of lasers around their yard, and then you have a lot of other people who are trapped in really awful situations.
Lasers around their. Well, the Skywalkers live over there.
No, people have lasers, and where I come from, they'll have
security systems.
Yeah, security systems.
Yeah, I hear you.
So they beep, like at my parents' house, we hear somebody coming up the driveway.
Yeah, well, little things like there's some places where you just walk by and the light goes on or whatever, basically saying,
Motion detector.
"Go away, criminals." Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so, it's a question of if, I don't know, I think maybe it's a good impulse to sort of connect with some group of people and say, I'm one of you, and I love you, and you love me, we're a happy family. And
It's a love thing.
yeah, and it could be good, but the thing is that strikes me about this new patriotism, that makes it not believable to me, or that I can't get involved in it, is I don't love the people who are pushing it. They don't have anything to do with me. I don't respect them. They seem to be liars and basically hypocrites and judgmental and all this. Whereas, in the 30s in America, you had, if you went around and took a poll as far as patriotism, you'd have people divided more along class lines. You'd have all these farmers who were very poor, industrial workers who were very poor, who would say, who do I connect with? Who's my group? And that would be these other workers. And so that, to me, that made sense. I know what it is to work hard and not get much money. I know the life that comes out of that. And so I develop a love for it, for its culture. But so we have to talk about historically how America overcame that sense of class and came to this just idea that there is one American, one great American.
Right.
Yeah.
When Chevy's exploiting the worker class with their Heartbeat of America, commercials that are targeting the working class.
Well, I think we overcame that whole idea when we developed the idea of the lottery, because it was basically, I don't know when that was first developed, but we certainly, what?
That's funny, I never thought of that.
Because it's basically, at this point, supposedly now we're all equal. We can all, cash in. We can all have lasers around our yards. If we're just that 1 in a billion shot.
We're lumped together by that 1 in a billion.
Yeah, exactly, And the whole new patriotism, they quickly converted it to the new commercialism. I mean, there wasn't even a blip. It was just, Bush telling us go out and shop, that's the way to beat the terrorists, That suddenly made it all about money again.
Unless you're shopping for drugs.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's helping the terrorists.
Oh yeah, that's right. I love the way they turned that war against terrorism, and let's lump a few more wars in there. Oh, the war against drugs. The war against hairy legs.
You had me until hairy legs.
Yeah, the whole idea of, I think, I love the theme wars. I mean, you can't, as much as they're just how despicable it is, and it just, again, time and time again shows me how stupid America is. What was the first term, the first phrase he had for that war?
Infinite justice.
Infinite justice.
Which you got to admit, that kicked ass.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on. What is this new one?
Enduring
freedom. It's like, freedom! I can barely hold on to it any longer.
Okay, but the thing that the people out there viewer we have to think of, you know.
Yeah.
Let's think of the viewer.
Okay.
We need to tell the viewer who might not be as educated.
Or as bowling as we are.
Yeah, well, we are not only bowlers, though.
That's true.
Educated bowlers. And there's, if you go to college and you know, look at what you're supposed to look at, you learn about the facts, which are disturbing if you're American, or if you had some concept of America as this freedom-loving thing, you know, and loving people in general. We're not freedom-loving. Many of the countries that we deal with around the globe, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Iraq for a long time, doesn't matter if you are a tyrant, and you can go and kill as many people as you want, pretty much. If you continue to allow our business to do business with you and things are going well, we